All right, welcome back to Gold Squadron podcast coverage of X-Wing World Championship Day 1B Round 5. I'm joined here by Joel Killingsworth. Joel, we've got a barn burner on our hands, don't we?
Yes, we do. We have quite a large number of ships. Looks like 14 ships on the table with a Seer Swarm mirror match with Sam Talley against Terry Viramontes.
Right. So very popular factions, right?
Yeah.
So we're seeing a lot of Scumless all the time. We're seeing a lot of Swarm, right? Of course, we've seen some Nantags, but this, I think, has been the most popular by far. And again, lots of ships on the board, lots of Swarm play. It's going to be really exciting to see how these players do. Now, Joel, can you take us on some of the subtle differences between these two lists? Again, all of them have Seer, right? All of them kind of have the same high-level archetype, but a lot of differences within these upgrades.
Yeah, so we have a number of Trade Federation drones on both sides, but we also have Separatist drones flown by Terry.
And let's get us ordered here so that we know on these Separatist drones, right? The I-3s and the Trade Federation drones and the Techno-Union bomber.
Looks like those are actually backwards. Looking at that, it should be the Separatist drone should have that energy shell, and the Trade should have the grappling shells. Let me go confirm that.
Yep. Yeah, and players just starting to set up here. We are at 73 minutes. We are on a two-minute delay here from the main. These streaming tables, we have so much streaming action coming at you. Getting a special judge here to keep a timer for these tables. Want to make sure these players have a fair shot. This is round 5, right? And the magic number remains 5. 5 and 2s make it on Saturday. 3 losses, you're automatically out. We're going to get those lists adjusted here in just a moment. Looks like Terry's set up right into the middle of the field. And you know what? Sam's matching. Some of his swarm is pointing down. Some of his swarm is pointing towards the middle. And an interesting rock path here. Sam is looking likely not to want to engage in the middle here. Terry has got a lot of room straight up. All right, now that can be an advantage for Sam. Sam can drag that swarm through, make it break up, make it go through rocks. So we'll see if that's the approach they take. So everyone's just checking their dials. Again, time has started. This, if you're just tuning in, is the Gold Squadron podcast coverage of the X-Wing World Championship Day 1B, sponsored by Curl Paw Creatives. Use promo code WORLDS2019 for 15% off your order. So Terry opening up here with some Trade Federation drones. I-1 looks like has the initiative here. Looks to be pretty important. Second drone here reveals a 4 forward. A little bit more aggressive here. I kind of like this from Terry. And then Sam here coming right back down the field, right? Knowing he has a little bit safety from the rocks. But again, generally speaking, very conservative opening from Sam. Just trying to see if he can't get Terry to break up a little bit. You know, these swarms really struggle in these rocks, right? Terry doesn't want to be in this type of situation where he's having to chase Sam there, and Sam can turn around and get those shots.
Yeah, in this particular matchup, there's the difference between which ships have landing struts.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you have landing struts, you actually you're fine being in here.
Yeah,
you don't
true.
really mind.
Yeah.
You can sit on those rocks. You can sit on that debris. After the correction, looking at this, we can see that the pink Trade Federation drone and the Techno-Union bomber on Terry's Seer Swarm both have landing struts, but none of the other ships do.
Yeah.
Right? When looking over at Sam's list, we see grappling struts on everything except for Seer and the Techno-Union bomber.
Yeah, so that might be playing to what Sam is looking for here. Might want to turn up right in front of these rocks, right? Try to bait in, use these debris clouds, that type of thing. You know, just off the bat, which player would you rather be here, Joel?
It's tough to say. I think in general you would rather be the one running higher initiative, right? Because you want generally speaking, you want your two lists to kind of clash. They're jousty lists, right? And if you can use your higher initiative to go ahead and clear off 1, 2, maybe even 3 of the opposing ships before they fire, then you're in a really, really good position.
Now, let's see. Is that a bomb drop?
That is a DRK-1 Pro
That's
droid.
right, yeah.
Both lists are using these. And what they do is they allow you to use them as the point from which you measure when measuring for locks or jam.
Right, and again, that was at the end phase here, so we're looking to clean up one charge down on Terry's Dark Probe droid. We'll get that marked here. Has one left for the rest of the game.
And Sam has deployed one as well.
Okay.
So it looks like what Sam's doing is that he recognizes the issue with the I3s coming in this block here, right? And he doesn't want to face them head on. So instead, he's coming down into the corner where he has the advantage due to these obstacles, right? These I3s without struts, if they come into this zone, are going to have to be very careful about how they get around these obstacles.
Yeah, and almost at a high level, you haven't seen this before. I almost want to say Sam can probably bend around the rules a little bit, right? When we normally think about obstacles, generally don't like. Terry's got to play a little bit more by the rules, right?
Yeah.
So here's Terry setting up dials. So tough to set this many dials at once. Looks like the Techno Union Bomber for Sam did a 1K, looks like. Or perhaps a Talon.
Looks like...
oh, sorry, 2K?
2K, yeah. So I did a 2K, launched the DRK-1, and will be in position to regroup with its fellows moving into the corner. Also, another key difference between the lists is the number of energy cell charges. Looks like Terry only has 4, whereas Sam has a total of 6.
Yeah, it looks like Sam's wanting to take those in batch. A lot of similar ships here. Trade Federations, they're I-1, but they do pack a punch, and they all have grappling struts. Kind of the trade-off, right? Wanting to go I-3. Almost, it feels like Terry looked at the mirror here and said, hey, I do want to be I-3.
Right.
I don't want to be I-1. And in case I ever run against it, I want, the higher initiative as almost a counter.
Right. So there is the system phase movement of the DRK-1, both mirroring one another. Just coming in saying, we want our locks. Then you also have the TA-175 relay on Terry's Captain Seer. What that allows him to do is that if any ship with calculate on its action bar is destroyed, all of its fellows, who also have calculate on their action bar,
I'd imagine so.
get a free calculate.
Yeah.
The timing on this is important. However, it's only once the ship is removed,
Okay.
which is after that entire initiative step in which it is destroyed.
Yeah.
So if Sam kills one of Terry's ships with one of his I-1 ships, then Terry's calculates that he's going to get aren't actually going to be usable.
Yeah, they're going to be all at the end of the phase, right?
Yeah.
After all of his I-1, right?
Yeah.
Or in this case, Sam, because Terry's got the initiative. Yeah, Sam turning up here. Takes the target lock on his droid.
And he gets to measure again from the DRK droid.
Yeah.
It's a really excellent way to get advanced locks. We've been seeing that all week from the Imperials with Jendon in the shuttle.
Yep.
And this is just a same kind of idea.
Yeah, and it's gender, and it's not just the range 3 lock. You get to just measure range, right?
Yeah.
I often find these abilities so powerful because, again, you want to measure to everything, right? Maybe if you're wondering how fast his 3 bank would go, these types of relative measurements are so important in a game where you can't just plop the measurement ruler down.
Right. So it looks like so far Sam is spreading his locks around. It's also important to note that these energy shell charges, by and large, are basically one-shot weapons.
Yeah.
Because you can take the reload on them, but it's going to be the opportunities you have to do that instead of going ahead and just firing with your primary are going to be few and far between.
And you don't want to sacrifice that shot necessarily, right?
Right.
Because both players here have a ton of shots going back into each other.
So it looks like he's got quite a number of drones just looking to grab locks on different things. He's got 1 lock on Terry's bomber, 2 locks so far on the little pink vulture with struts, and then 2 on that lead separatist drone in yellow. Looks like he is debating where to put the bomber's lock. He's going to put it on the blue separatist drone. So continuing to
really just
spread
spreading
it out.
Yeah. And again, doesn't need to be committed here, right?
Yeah. It looks
so
like
Sear 1 banking in.
Yeah, it looks like Terry is going to at least approach that cluster of obstacles. So again, if this, as we've been seeing all week, the opening engagement is really the most important part of the game. And if Sam mishandles this engagement, he runs the risk of losing 2 or so of his ships before they fire, right? And if Terry mishandles this engagement, he runs the risk of not having arc on the right ships because he's had to disengage somewhat due to the obstacle placement.
Yeah, and it looks like if we just look at the grouping here, Sam's is just staying in here, right?
Yeah.
Sam's just going to be right here. We've got a little split here, right? We've got a little split here. We've got some action here. And now we've got these turns coming around. Terry almost spreading out a little bit, saying, maybe I don't want to go directly, or maybe I want to do a 2-pronged approach.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So let me ask you, Joel, what does a successful engage look like for each player?
I think a successful engage for Terry starting out is to try to have to maybe wait until Sam's ships are like here, right?
Okay.
And so he wants to come on down and then turn in at the last minute, right? So that he doesn't have to deal with this whole area. He gets to take his shots and then maybe come in for a second wave of just weird stuff happening here, right? You know, and then he can take his short K-turns and Talon rolls and hopefully never have to deal with those debris clouds at all.
Yeah, and with Sam here, I'm just really interested in seeing how he handles these struts, right?
Yeah.
Who goes
Struts opens up a lot of options that you just aren't used to thinking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I know Sis has been out for a while now as a faction, but again, you're so used to this kind of traditional playing. I talked about it before. It's almost like one gets to play by rules and one doesn't. And Struts is almost like a card that says, hey, you don't really have to play by these rules anymore.
Right.
You have a whole set of rules on yourself. It looks like, do we have shots here?
It looks like he's taking shots on the Dark 1 probe droid.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Because you can target those as if they're ships. And if they take a damage, then they are off the board.
Yep. Yeah. So it looks like range 2. He dies here.
And that is a
Yep.
probe droid off the board.
Right.
But I think that's probably okay by Terry. He's already got his locks off.
Yeah.
And he's got another one in the chute if he needs it.
Yep. Terry's the first player.
Wow, that was crazy for the first shot. That was crazy. Okay, hand.
Absolutely. Oh, and there it is, Dion. We've got it for you, yeah. Oh, and you see the DRK probe going second one, coming right out immediately. And here now. So no more DRK-1 probe droids from the Techno Union bomber. So here we go. Both players setting their dials again. So Dow's getting set here again for Terry and Sam. Yeah. And
So again, one of the Dark One probe droids was destroyed. Terry's, the one that he first put out.
yeah, and that's it for him. No more charges.
Yeah, so because he deployed his second one during the end phase there, and he is just unperturbed.
Yep. I think he's okay as long as he gets these locks off, right?
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see if this doesn't come around or come through here, right? It's a very different approach. Sam's saying safety in numbers, and Terry's saying, maybe I want to spread you apart, right?
Yeah.
Change target priority. When it comes to swarms, I really like playing them and I really like watching them because it's a lot about fundamental execution. Yeah, sure, you have struts. Yeah, sure, you have all these different things that you add on top of it. But at the end of it's still the same thing, maneuvering, engaging, target priority, right?
Yep. So we were talking about an ideal engagement for Terry, right?
Yep.
And how that might look and how he might try to come down here and then turn in at the last minute to hopefully engage right about here. But with Sam, I think what we might see is in order to, because what we've got right now is kind of a engagement line that kind of looks like that, right?
Yeah, right.
So we might see Sam try to mirror that and vary the speed of his ships to try to get something like that going.
Okay.
Because he does have his locks spread out on so many different ways. He's shown that he wants to kind of generalize his threat.
Sure. And it looks like we do have the one hard turn in here, just to calculate one hard turn in here. So that indicates to me Terry's looking for his engage here. He's setting up the final parts.
Now, the pink drone and the Techno Union Bomber do not have energy shells.
Okay. Packing less of a punch.
Yeah, so they're not really looking for a range 3 engagement.
They're looking for range 1, right?
Yeah.
Jumping these bands. Yeah. I have a feeling we're going to see a lot of calculate tokens being passed out today.
Yeah.
Looks like just a 2 straight. Again, pretty conservative, staying in this corner, right? If the first droid's any indication.
Yeah, reverting to small tokens early. Just with so many ships on the table.
You know, at some point, I've been playing against Swarm for a bit. At some point, you just say, yeah, you've got calculate.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have 3 or 4. Yep, sounds good to me.
So it looks like maybe orange and yellow are also going to do the 2 hard and just end up on that rock.
Right. Now, orange and yellow, those...
Or 2 straight.
Sorry. See, orange has the struts. Yellow has the struts. Yes, no problem there.
And
struts are engaged.
looks like he's going to go ahead and barrel roll off.
Are you surprised by that at all?
No, it leaves his action or his maneuver choices open for the following turn. Because when you're on a rock with struts, your only options are to sit still, rotate, or do a 2 straight.
Yeah, and I noticed he just rolled there for the probe droid, right?
So whenever your ship lands on an enemy ship's probe droid, you roll a attack die, and if it's a focus, that probe droid is destroyed.
Oh, right.
So it's sitting there in space, and your ship just runs right into it, and it dies.
Yeah. So yellow, same thing, flipping those struts around.
Yeah, and
barrel
he's
rolling
barreling
here.
off. And while those struts are open, it completely ignores the presence of that rock.
Yeah.
So he gets to barrel roll right through it. Now you'll notice that he's still on that rock, so he's going to have to deal with having to sit still, rotate, or do a 2 straight next turn, whereas orange has his whole dial available to him.
Freedom, right?
Yeah. Looks like Sear coming around the flank, trying to, I think Terry feels like with Sam's positioning here, this pocket is the safest place to be, so he's sticking his utility piece over there. And what we see with Sam, with his utility piece, is he's got Seer all set to come up right here. So again, in the protected behind the lines kind of situation.
Yeah, and then taking a very conservative barrel roll out here with Seer, just saying, hey, you go, not looking for the engage very early on.
Yeah, one consideration, of course, is that Seer's ability only works out to range 3 of the ship. So he is chained to his fellows,
right,
at least somewhat. All right, seeing the bank out of Sam Seer, deciding if he wants to reposition in any way. I'm taking a look at the Belbalab's action bar. We've got a focus, a lock, and either a roll or a boost linked into a red focus. So it actually has quite a lot of options available to it when it gets to take an action. All right, and we see 1 hards out of Terry. So he's ready to go.
Yeah, these I3s turning up here. Yeah, so measuring for target lock first with the ship. We'll measure with the DRK droid after that. Players discussing if they can do that.
Yeah.
Now, again, the measure here was not for the target lock first, right? It was
Yeah.
to measure to see how close we are into engaging, right? And he's going to change the lock over to the red.
Yep. So orange gets a lock. Looks like we have some drifting going on from yellow.
Yeah.
But no, instead that is simply a shorthand way to do a turn without having to mark someone that you're running through.
Pretty convenient, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Now, you could say you could do the yellow first, right?
Yeah, but what he did
Was test. Yeah, you're right.
He discovered whether yellow was going to be in range.
Right. So looking to change target locks here. Yep. Then another separatist drone.
Yeah. So now he's
again,
doing things the easy way now that he has all his information.
Right.
Doing
And
it.
you made a great point there. He used those target lock ranges to determine, has perfect information just as you said, and then that informs all the actions afterwards.
Yeah. So this barrel roll, if Sam had rolled that focus to destroy the probe droid, would have denied Terry the opportunity to take those range checks.
Right.
Because then he would have been committed to moving his lock to something that was actually in his range,
Yeah.
which would have destroyed all the work that he had set up with the previous probe droid. So it looks like we're coming up on an opening engagement here next turn.
Yellow on top.
It looks like right now they're just
that's right, they're
taking
shooting the
shots
probe
at the
droid.
probe droids.
2.
And
Yep, and he's got it. And Sam still has 1 available. Can throw it out if needed.
yeah. Checking ranges. So it comes down to those Initiative 1 ships, which looks like they're just out of range. So I think that's pretty much ideal for Terry's pink vulture here, because he has a nice clean lane to come in here. He's just sitting outside of range 3, so he can jet in for a range 1 shot or even a block potentially.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to have a shot here. Techno Union Bomber into orange, unobstructed. 1.
Into 2 evades.
And this has got a return shot.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yellow?
Yes.
Yeah, energy shell charge here. You can hear him declaring.
So energy shell out of yellow into the bomber for 2.
And it's going to take 2 there. Orange is going to do the same shot. Energy shell there too.
Which he has a lock on that one. And 3 hits. If there's no evades rolled, this could be the end of that bomber.
Oh, and it
Rolls
gets
2.
two. Spoke too soon, Joel. I believe that's half now in the
Yes.
technique event? Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a paltry 16 points, right?
But perhaps more than any other match, the swarm on swarm is all about every point you can pull out.
Right, yeah.
It takes so long to plan dials, execute maneuvers, perform attacks, that rarely are you going to see a 14-game ship come down to one side being completely annihilated within 75 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's all about the incremental, I get more points than I give up.
Yeah, and we're coming in under 50 minutes again. First engage, not a complete engage either, right?
Yeah.
So this next turn is going to be the real turn. I think players are probably going to spend their time setting their dials here. Sam's got 2 quick ones down there, and it's important to know those energy charges have been used by orange and yellow.
Yes, and that's actually a good time to go ahead and use them. Because if you look here, the 2 guys that don't have energy shells, right, that's going to be the bomber here, has a nice clean lane to come in here.
Yeah.
And then the pink Trade Federation drone has a nice clean lane to come in here. They can jet in and get blocks. And so these 2 guys here are by no means guaranteed to get their calculate this next turn, right? And which is necessary in order to fire the energy shells. So they already fired their energy shells. They don't actually need to have calculate going into this next engagement. So he's free to do whatever needs to be done with this bank of fighters that still have their energy shells.
Yeah, and if Red comes in here and gets a calculate token, they can always use that one if needed, right?
Yeah.
That's the power of these scum swarms, right? Having network calculations here, really, really good. If you get blocked, no problem, right?
Mm-hmm. So it looks like we're probably going to see both forces fully committing to an engagement here. We're probably looking at relatively fast maneuvers out of Terry's Pink Vulture and Techno Union Bomber. I would expect perhaps Sam wants to do something similar with at least his orange guy, because it would he wants to be able to block up this set right here, right?
Now, is he going to be able to do that through the debris?
Potentially, yeah. The struts don't engage if you go through debris.
Oh, if only
right?
if you land.
Only if you land on it. But if he is simply like he says, okay, it's more important that I get the block in order to prevent him from shooting energy shells this turn, and I don't really care about the well-being of this drone, right? Then he can just do that 5 straight, run up there, and get in the way. And so I think that particularly out of this guy is what we might see. That is not an option for yellow because he's still sitting on that rock, right? So the only maneuver he can actually perform is a 2 straight.
Oh, that's right. Just barely missing it after the barrel roll.
Yeah. So yellow is probably going to stay where he is. I don't see any reason particularly for him to move forward. It also avoids him getting blocked, so he'll get his calculate that way.
Right.
And then we're going to see this block of ships come in to have an engagement line that's kind of like that, and hopefully, from Sam's perspective, block up this section here to mitigate the energy shells coming in at I3.
Right. Now, does this debris concern you at all if you have these for this purple one here?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Because I think what'll happen is you can do a 2 bank here and probably end up just barely clipping it, and that struts. The 2 bank from the blue will be fine, and then you might even 3 bank out of the purple for struts there. The question is, I know the banks on these guys aren't great. Yeah, so the 3 bank is actually red, so I don't think we're going to see any 3 banks out of these.
Yeah, so good call here, Joel. Going quick with the I-1 Federation drone here. And just calculating. No stress there.
Yeah, he went as fast as he could in order to clear the stress.
Yeah. And the Techno Union Bomber here might get blocked there. Might not be too concerned about that, right?
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So that is a block there. However, they can share that calculate.
So now Sam's ones will initiate. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So not going out for that block.
Yep.
Does the too hard, which does clear the stress.
Yep. Going over, checking for the DR kit. No, not this time.
Still no kill there. So he landed on the rock. Strut's still open. He gets to do
Barrel
Whatever he
rolling
wants.
to the right.
coming back. Another advantage that Sam has in this engagement potentially is that he can get obstruction for all of his ships.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right? And he doesn't give up that obstruction to Terry for those of his ships that are sitting on a rock.
Yeah.
Right?
And it looks like we're gonna have struts popped again.
All right. Looks like maybe instead of actively engaging this turn, Sam is hoping to weather the initial rain of shells and then tie up Terry with more guaranteed blocks in the following turn.
Right.
As opposed to taking a risky 5 straight with orange.
Yep. Man, the math of where you can be or can't be with struts it changes everything.
It does.
Yeah. Come blue, hard turn in. Just calculating. And then orange here, probably with the 2 bank, it looks like.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry,
bank out of
purple. Yeah.
Looks like that just clears. Trying to decide whether he's going to do the linked barrel roll.
And yeah, you're right. Here comes the barrel roll. And then maybe link. Yeah,
link into
links
that
into
calculate. So yellow stays put, at least called 1 right.
Right.
So this is really interesting. It really, whether or not this arrangement pays off, really depends on what Terry did with the group of separatist drones.
Yeah, and it's important to remember these are I3 versus I1, right?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of tech here against the standard swarm. Comes Sear with a 2 bank. Yeah, just wanting to stay close, clearing the stress, but not wanting to be in too much danger. And again, orange does not have energy shell charges anymore. Now looking for actions here. Maybe some sort of reposition his future. Maybe boost or barrel roll into that calculate.
Solo reroll. Okay, hand solo reroll.
So it's got the he's going to reach for the template. Yeah, no, he's just focusing. And all right, here comes the big play,
Yeah.
right? I3s. Oh, nope, Sear first. Yep.
Details.
Yeah.
But again, we see both players keeping their utility piece in the safest position that they can.
Yeah.
Looks like we have 2 straight. So with
And
this one facing a debris cloud does not have struts.
No struts here.
So it looks like we're probably going to be seeing I would guess, a linked, a barrel roll link into a calculate.
Yeah, I think so. Maybe, yeah, to the right here. Yeah, calculate stress. Orange here, yeah, 2 banking in. Terry's looking for almost a full-on engage here, yeah.
Yeah.
again, and these are I3s, remember. Most of Sam's ships are I1s. All of them are, except for Seer, which is I2.
Yeah.
So initiative kill very much in play here.
So it looks like he was really happy with the 2 bank from everyone coming in, but that yellow one just wouldn't fit with the debris.
Right?
Looks like
Eclipse this one.
blue
with the
didn't
blue.
fit
Yeah,
either.
and again, no landing struts. Oh, almost. Yeah.
no damage,
Yep.
stress. The important part there is that he doesn't have a calculate, and even though he can share his friend's calculates, he can't fire his shells
That's right. Yeah.
because those require you to actually have them.
yeah. Yep, and so that's everything. So I3's first now in combat.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look like there's any start of combat phase
No.
procs here.
No.
Fist down, right? Palms down, ready to make a big decision.
Just looking at the puzzle. So the question is, which of Sam's pieces does Terry try and clear, right?
Yeah.
So
Energy
it's
shell.
like energy shell into looks like the red one.
Yep.
Because he was rolling 3.
Yep.
Yeah. So he takes 1 crit. Damaged engine.
Damage engine onto red. We'll get that. And then that orange used up its energy shell.
Yeah. So green's firing his energy shell into red as well. So
Yeah,
he's
has the lock on red.
Yep. And,
And spins
spending
the calc.
for the extra crit.
Yep.
So hit, crit, crit,
So 3 here for Sam.
and that's going to be a
Yep.
dead drone.
Double crit here.
2 direct hits. Trade Federation drone dies to 5 damage.
Yep.
So that's only 5 direct hits in the whole deck. Right?
Yeah, so those are 2 there. We'll mark them out there so we make sure we can count for them.
Yeah.
Is this yellow? Into, yeah.
All right, looks like he's taking a hit crit on yellow.
Blinded pilot on yellow.
So this opening engage looking less than perhaps Sam had hoped.
Yeah. It's no energy shell charge here on blue. Really hitting that debris is tough.
Yeah,
Just 1 hit.
and he's fine.
Yep. So good to go there. Terry really wishing he hadn't clipped that debris now. See if he could have initially killed that yellow one as
Yeah.
well.
So looking for what he can see with Seer. And he's got that orange one sitting in front of him, but its corner's tucked inside the rock. So it would be rolling 3 defense. Looks like he's got range 3 obstructed into yellow, just trying to finish it off.
Really? It's focus for all of them.
And
Oh,
that is out.
yeah. Evades in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Got to feel good about that if you're Sam, right?
Yeah. All right. Looks like they haven't
Yeah. And now
cleared, looks like they haven't removed red,
Yep.
which that could actually be impactful because he's taking a calculate token with him.
Yep. So I1s now, again, these I1s will not initiative kill this yellow one, but he's still going at it.
Trying to decide which calculate to spend. So that's 1 coming into yellow.
And they've realized
There we
that the
go,
red, yeah, coming off the board here. Lot to
Yeah.
account for, right?
Yeah, and that's with these droids that have the linked calculations, even if your ship dies, as long as it's kept on the board by simultaneous fire, you can still, its friends can still make use of that token.
Oh, gets the evade again.
Looks like he uses the seer ability.
Oh,
'cause
that's
he's in
right,
bullseye.
yeah.
Goes ahead and pushes a damage into yellow. Does that put it down to 1?
Oh, wait, it kills yellow, but again,
Kills it.
yellow's still around for the initiative phase because we
Yep.
are in the I-1s now.
Debating which calculates to spend. It's almost a mini game in the middle of the
Yeah.
game, right? Decides to leave it. He's about to take a lot of fire in return and wants to save that calculate for somebody's defense.
Yeah.
All right, orange, range 2 to seer. He does not have obstruction because he's got struts.
Oh, and Natty's no problem, both
Yep.
directions.
Leave it where it was.
Debating on which ship to shoot next. Now you notice he fired with orange first, right? So if you look at orange's arc, well, he obviously had seer there, but if you look at orange's arc, there's only one target. There's not really any decision to be made.
Yeah, it's an easy one to just get off the
Right.
board, right?
And that's a good way to go about things, right? Is you just go ahead and you take the shots that you have the least choices in first. That way, when you make the harder decisions later, you have more information.
Yep. And here's blue. Range 1 to the bomber here.
And remember, the bomber was hurt in previous rounds.
Right.
So
On to 2.
spends his own calculate for 3 into the bomber.
here.
And that,
And then that's it for the bomber as well.
yeah.
Again, not removed to the end of initiative. Energy shell here on purple.
Yeah.
Yellow 3 on 2 here. Has
Spends it for hit and 2 crits.
yep.
And that is 2 focus. So spending that calculate to dodge 1 takes 2 crits. Loose stabilizer and structural damage
So still at 1.
into yellow. Sam hoping for a direct hit in there for
Yeah.
the kill.
Sam already pulled 2 today, maybe hoping for the same luck back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yellow, the dead drone, is not dead yet, so
Not
it will
yet,
fire. Has 1, keeps the calculate, and uses
And
the seer
yeah.
ability.
And so is that on pink?
That was pink.
That was pink, right? And now checking arc for the bomber. Again, yellow is on 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And orange there is full.
Looking at arc and obstruction. Looks like they're doing an unobstructed energy shell into orange from the Techno Union bomber. For all the paint, 2 hits and a crit.
And that'll be it for sure.
into orange.
Oh, is that orange?
That was orange. And
Damage engine. So players here are discussing the damage on the on the pink. I think he was shooting at yellow there, and so that's what they're discussing now. Where that damage should be. And yep, moving the mat. I think he wasn't on it, right? Yeah.
Well, he was, but yellow is dead anyway, so his position doesn't really matter going into the next.
Yeah, but now when we talk
Right.
about Terry, yeah.
Right. So now they're talking about misunderstanding on who the target of Sam's yellow attack was.
Right. And so now players. And yeah, there's the judge call coming through.
Yep.
Yeah. We thought it was on pink as well.
Yeah.
But again, there's a lot of ships flying around. We'll get a judge here and we'll get a resolution. Again, that changes a lot because it'll kill yellow, right?
Right, yeah.
And maybe that's why you choose to shoot the energy probes at orange.
Right. Yeah. So it informs that follow-up shot, which is why it's so important.
Yeah.
So, looking into the next turn, right? So, this ship is definitely gone.
Yep.
This ship is definitely gone. So, when we go into the next turn, we're going to see potentially a rotate out of orange to have arcs looking this way, right? And then we could see turn in, bank in, and just generally have these arcs this way, right? So then as Terry, how do you deal with that kind of coverage in the middle of the rocks, given that you don't have struts?
Yeah. So again, players still discussing with the judge. Again, this changes a lot. Looking up at the points.
Yeah, because this is about whether or not that ship is still in the game.
Yeah.
And,
50 to 58 points, so close already, right?
Yeah. But the thing is that yellow, it's an I3, right?
Yeah.
So it has the opportunity
To initiative kill in the next round if it's not dead.
Yeah. And that easily has a snowballing effect. So then, so this blue, right? It's going to come in, and it has no choice. It has to go over that.
Right, yeah.
Right. So that's going to be no action again from that blue. Now, it still has an energy shell. Won't be able to use it. Right? Green looks like he has a clear path here. So he can come in. Pink can come down and just be in the middle of everything here since Terry has first player, and try to get blocks in here and make room for the initiative threes to come in, or potentially he could be coming out straight like this to try to deal with this threat down here, and then what the rest of that line looks like, and even what the orange ship does depends largely on this judge call and what happens with this vulture right here.
Right. And in the meantime, clock's ticking away, right? Right, getting around to 25 minutes. So now I don't see if anything's changed. Looks like they're going to back up the attacks here. Yeah, still in the discussion phase with the judge on what to do here.
Looks like they've called over the marshal.
Yeah.
Escalated it up the chain.
Yep.
So, in the meantime, finding a way to deal with the I3s is pretty imperative for Sam here. So going for blocks is obviously something that you want to do to prevent any future shell charge uses. Again, green still has a shell and blue still has a shell. Looks like they are rolling everything back. So we are taking everything back, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a do-over.
Oh no.
All right, going ahead and getting rid of pieces for the sake of sanity. The Techno Union Bomber did not have a calculate, so his presence is irrelevant.
Right.
It's just adding confusion. All right, so backing all the way up to Sam's yellow shot. All right, so now the yellow over here is definitely dead. Now,
Wait, so I think they're backing up all the way. Just one for yellow here.
They should be down here. Got a draw full of them. That's the vote. This was like this.
yes. So he's just got one, yeah, because they haven't done all of the rest of the attacks.
Right. And again, we'll do a damage check at the end of the table just to make sure.
Yeah. This was such a large deal because it affected the decisions of at least 2 subsequent attacks.
Right.
So hit crit coming out of pink into yellow.
Definitely for sure dead here, yeah.
Yeah. So that's disabled power regulator. He's already engaged, and he's dead anyway, so that's inconsequential. Looks like purple energy shell into orange.
So just hit crit here onto orange.
Yeah. Who gets 1 evade, so that is a crit. And that is wounded pilot. All right. So now we have...
All right, and I'm going to go do a damage check just to make sure we've got everything accurate reflected on the stream.
Yeah. So now that we have an accurate board state, we can take another look at what might happen here. Sam is down to 3 drones out of 6, and Terry is down to 4 drones out of 6. Sam still has his bomber.
Yeah, so looking over on Terry's side of the board, that damage that we have there is correct. 1 on the orange, and the yellow is dead.
All right.
So again, all of that down. 1 big engagement turn, 21 minutes left in the round.
Yeah.
And so when we look at the points here, 58 for Sam, 50 for Terry. Just the slightest edge, but we've seen so many ships can pop right all at once.
Yeah. And this also, I wasn't watching the clock closely, but that whole trying to figure out what to do about that turn took at least 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? So that shows you the importance of clearly communicating with your opponent, right? And making sure both of you are always on the same page, talking through what you're doing and what you expect.
Yeah, and
to be the
especially,
result.
again, this is round 5 of the World Championship so far. You have to be clear, right?
Yeah.
I'm curious to see if players will ask for a time extension
Yeah.
because that marshal call, judge call, and marshal call took so long. We'll find out here. Yeah.
So looking at Terry's remaining resources, looks like he has energy shells left on green and blue. Blue is not going to be able to take advantage of those this turn.
Right, because he has to go through the debris.
Yeah. Green potentially can. So that is something for...
Well, Terry, actually, green doesn't. Shot the energy shells on the last turn,
Oh,
right?
I see.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So just on the blue, the only
just
shell
on the
left
blue.
is just on the blue. I think Sam doesn't have many of his either, right? Pink on the bomber just used.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Looks like
Purple definitely just used. And then has it on blue because he had a range 1 shot, I believe.
Yeah. He had the range 1 to the
bomber.
Yeah. So he only has 1 shell left. Terry's pink droid is going to move first. So there's no telling exactly what will go on there in terms of blocking.
Yeah.
But blue might, if he's looking to fire the shell, he might be able to target Terry's seer. If he's looking to just kill opposing vultures, because the Separatist drones are more expensive than Sam's drones.
Right.
So he has the opportunity to try to trade 1-for-1 and be ahead.
Yeah,
right?
and that's what we see here, right?
Yeah.
We see equal number of ships removed off the board. I think 2 on each side, but we see the Sam's in the lead.
All right, so we still have Terry with the tactical advantage with the higher initiative ships.
But again, it hurts so much to have to go to that debris again,
Yeah.
and not being able to use those energy shells. They've been so powerful, especially we've seen from Sam here. And I'm curious on these struts here for orange. Likely not taking the 2 forward here. Likely just moving, right?
Right.
Like
yeah.
moving
so,
direction.
Right. So I would expect him to just rotate so that he's kind of facing this way.
Okay.
It's possible that he stays where he is, expecting Seer to come over this way, but I doubt it because you can't be sure where Seer's going, right? And if you do the rotate, you're at least guaranteed that you're going to shoot something over here,
Yeah.
right? And at this point, every missed shot is a major setback.
Right. And pink here, 1 Harding here. Maybe looking for the block, like you said, or maybe just calculate such a safe bet.
Yeah, looks
And
like
this one-
he doesn't do the linked barrel roll.
Yeah, and pink does have grappling struts here.
And he does the rotate.
Yeah, good call there, Joel. Now into action here. Power fist down. 17 minutes left to go. Tight game. We've all been there before.
Yeah. Looks like he
3 harding the 1 over there, trying to jam up. Right, those
Uh,
I3s coming down.
yeah, it could be jam up. Could be just trying to make sure that he avoids getting blocked.
Yeah, and does
and-
have struts here, so
Yeah.
not worried about the debris.
And as long as he's sitting on that debris, he has the opportunity to just stay there
Yeah.
and continue to rotate as the initiative 3 drones go around.
Right, I
him.
really like that positioning.
Two bank. Oh, too
Too
hard.
hard. Again, purple. Yep. I don't know why I keep looking. Of course, purple is struts, right?
Yeah.
Choose this game then.
Then wondering if he's going to roll here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's going in for those blocks.
Yep. Roll here.
Trying to mitigate the amount of damage that he takes. And again, like we were saying, every missed shot is a huge setback at this point.
Yep. And then 1 harding here with the bomber. And again, this one, energy charges have been used.
Mm-hmm.
So now the 2 from Seer. Players asking for a time extension.
Oh, natties! Oh.
Yeah. That's what the player's discussing with the judge right now for a time extension. Yeah. And I believe the judge denying the extension here, right, Joel? Yeah.
That's what I heard.
And again, sorry, not the Joel rationale. The judge rationale there is did you ask for a time extension when the marshal was there? The answer was no at the time, and so judge denies that request. So this will end in around 15 minutes now. So Seer coming in, barrel rolling in the front of the rock and taking a focus. Is the target there the orange droid?
It looks like it. It's certainly a good shot, range 1 with a focus. Orange is healthy on Sam's side, so he would have to get a pretty good shot in order to clear it in one go, but it's certainly possible.
Again, Seer on the other side, just taking a focus. Really, they're for the ability, right? Really,
Right,
just
yeah.
hanging out down there for ability.
And at this point, he's coming in, and he has a 3-dice gun that he can contribute to the fight, right?
Yeah.
Which is also what Terry's trying to do with his, bumping it up to 4 dice on orange potentially with the range 1.
Yeah, looks like a 2-bank here. Pretty good positioning, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just calculate. When in doubt, calculate. Green is going to go 2-bank the other way. Probably has purple in range 1 here, if it fits.
Yeah, that fits.
Yeah, I think he's got it by a couple millimeters there. No problem.
Yep.
Likely taking a calculate here. No charges. Doesn't matter range 1. And again, these are I3, right? So he easily could pop the purple here, and I think the bomber doesn't have damage. So yeah, can't pop it in 1.
Yeah.
But if the second I3 has a shot, could initiative kill that bomber as well. And that would be huge here for Terry. Asking about the energy shell, blue does have it, and so rolling that way might make it acceptable, right?
Yeah.
Just taking calculate, yeah. Blue going through the debris.
Doing a 1 hard. Again,
I like that one drift that you mentioned
yeah,
before.
doing the shortcut to avoid having to mark ships. Looks like that was no damage from the debris. Remains stressed. All right, so that is all ships moved on both sides, it looks like. So we're going to start with the firing.
So
again,
blue, range 1 into orange here, right? With the obstruction, hit crit.
and 2
2
evades.
evades, no problem.
Obstruction paying off.
Yeah. Okay, and now orange, range 1 of the bomber. Has 5 health. Likely won't kill it, and they're going to check here for orange on orange action. It's range 2, no energy shell.
Yeah.
Wonder if he takes.
Yep. so
Oh, yeah,
taking-
he's going to take the orange. 2 versus 2. Calculate. Spending the I1 calculate for 2 total.
Yeah.
Forcing Sam here maybe to spend the calculate.
Yeah, spending
Yeah.
1, hoping that Seer doesn't finish the job.
Right.
So that's a range 1 out of green. Determining which calculate he wants to spend. And he will spend his own.
Yep.
He determined he did not have bullseye for Seer's ability. So purple takes
Purple
1.
taking 1. Not exactly ideal for Terry. Terry wanting to take these I3s and initiative kill. Seer checking for obstruction now. Yeah. So
So-
4 on 3. Focus on. Oh.
Oh, only 1.
Yep.
And
Gets the natural.
evades.
Tough luck there for Terry.
Yeah.
Not quite being able to punch through and use those I3s to his advantage. We'll have the I1s now.
Yeah.
But I think it's just pink and may not be an arc. So, oh, sorry, Seer first.
Yeah,
Excuse
yeah.
me. We forget he's there.
So he gets trying to decide. Yeah, it spins for 2 into 2 evades.
Yep.
Obstruction paying dividends in both directions.
Yeah, it really is. Especially when these attack are just 2 dice. Adding the extra green dice is so good.
Yeah.
And you're looking at 3 or 4.
So it looks like they've determined that the pink vulture does not
Does
have
not have,
arc.
yeah. So we're going straight to the bomber here. Pink onto orange. Spend for safety.
So the remaining shots look to be orange and purple on Sam's side. Making decisions on what to shoot at. As a reminder,
They're checking that wounded pilot, right?
Ah,
on
yeah, yeah, yeah.
purple, yeah.
so that was a blank, so no extra damage there. All right, looks like purple is going to take the range one into the wounded orange for 2 hits.
Needing paint here, needing evades here naturally to live.
And
Gets the one,
gets
one on orange. And that is half, so Sam getting up to 71 points now.
Determining that it is
Range
in
2
arc.
obstructed, yeah.
Not obstructed because of
Oh, that's right.
because of struts.
And here's the crit, needing an evade, gets the evade, lives.
Yep.
And I think that'll do it for combat this
All right.
round.
So with only 9 minutes left, and we still have 10 ships left on the board,
Yeah,
this could be the final round that we're going
I
to.
would think so. I'd
Yeah.
imagine so. You're moving so many ships, it's going to take a lot of time. Yeah.
So at this point, we still have, looks like 2 shells still available to fire.
Right.
And that is on the blue vulture on both sides.
Yep.
The blue vulture on Terry's side is currently double stressed. So there's not going to be any way that he's going to be able to get the calculate to fire that shell this turn.
I'm curious where he goes here with this blue I3, right?
Mm-hmm.
Not too many great places to be if he doesn't want to hit this rock. I'm looking at the dial here again. Too hard left. Again, getting out of the fight though. This is the last round. You want to use those I3s to your advantage, right? You
Yep.
brought these I3s specifically for these I1s, right?
But without having struts, right?
Can't get onto that
He
rock.
can't
yeah.
he can't go on that rock,
Yeah.
right? Because he runs the risk of taking a damage and then being easy pickings, right?
Right, and then not being able to shoot, right?
Yeah,
So same
yeah.
thing.
So having that extra stress is really rough because there's not really any way that he's going to be able to contribute to the fight anymore, unless he does something with the I-1 drone, and then because he could. So the I-1 drone has struts, right? The I-1 drone could do a 1 hard here.
And then self-block.
And then sit on there, and then he could 1 hard here,
Yeah.
and then block himself off of the rock.
I wonder if you could do the same with Seer, right? Because Seer's kind of in that same situation,
Yeah.
right? But the thing is, Seer's only blue there. You know, if Terry cares about that as a 2, and it looks like he might flip over it,
Mm-hmm.
it's a really tough call. I've never seen us want to land on a rock so badly before or plotted out.
But then now that the engagement is more or less in this box, right? That's really has been to Sam's advantage because he has so many more copies of struts.
Yeah,
right?
and well, you called it at the beginning of the game, right? This is where Sam's wanted to engage for a long time. That's why he set up. Remember, he set up here in the beginning, looking this way, dragging down this way in the later rounds, and then only coming around through here when he was ready for the engage. Terry comes in and engages, has the I3s, has to think that was an advantage. But again, Sam marking his territory and saying,
Yeah.
hey, you come engage on my terms. So dials done, yeah. 4 minutes on dials already. I would say this is the last
Yeah,
round.
yeah.
You just have so many ships, and you have so much to think about during these planning phases.
Mhm. And then so the really big thing Terry has to worry about is the fact that Sam's blue and orange don't have to move.
Yeah.
Right? They can just sit where they are. They can rotate.
And here comes the I1. Is that a 2K I spy?
That is a 2K, and looks like it is going to be in a self-blocking situation.
Right.
Expecting because Sam's orange can only sit still or go 2 straight, right? However, Sam does have the opportunity to barrel roll off that rock whenever he wants to. So if he decides that that's what needs to happen in order to dodge this arc, you see that's what he does here is he rotates with the blue and then barrel rolls up off of that debris. And then still gets his calculate because of the linked action.
Man, struts are so good.
Struts being 1 point is it's a steal.
Yeah. Marking the I3 here for Terry so Sam can get through 2 straight, it looks like.
Is it a straight or a K?
Looks like a 2 straight.
Straight, yeah. Looks like he really wants to pincer in on that that blue one, or even the pink.
Yeah. Again, he's ahead. Sam's ahead. So any additional here is just gravy.
Yeah.
And again, this is the last round.
But again, he also has to consider that if he doesn't continue the trade, and just starts giving up points this round, then he could lose his lead really quickly.
Yeah, that could change. Again, 2 explosive engagements already. Likely headed to a 3rd one. Let's see where Sam rotates this orange.
Yep. So just sits and then barrel rolls off to try to make sure he stays out of the blue Separatist drone's arc.
Man, Joel, that is so good. Just to be able to use those struts that way. So now Sear coming across that rock. We're going to mark to see if this 3 bank fits.
Trying to see if he blocks him onto the rock or not. And especially as so that is time called in the standard round.
Yeah, and then now we are on a delay here, as we mentioned at the start of the game. It's about 2:40, 3-minute extra, and so we do have a judge with a timer here. He will call the official time for these stream games. And now, did you get a chance to see if he blocked onto that rock?
I did not. It looks like he didn't take damage from the rock either.
Yeah. So Terry's going to go in his orange first.
You got a 1 hard coming in. Looks like it gets bumped on to Sam's bomber.
So no calculate.
And looking at things at this point, it looks like Sam's been able to acquire calculate on most of his ships.
Right. And Terry's not going to get a chance to, it looks like.
Yeah.
Talon rolls here onto the debris.
Trying to get the optimal arc. Looking at
the damage situation,
kind of making a target choice right now with how he positions his ship off of the Talon roll.
Right. Probably looking for an unobstructed shot here. That's what I imagine when he's thinking.
Yeah.
Nothing for the crit.
Yep, and ends up double stressed, taking the Talon roll onto the debris. Not really going to matter as this is looking to be the last round.
Now marking blue I3, the 1 hard.
Looks like it skips over and he ends up on that rock.
Oh, it just looks barely. They might have to remove that template there. Yeah.
Yeah, looks like they're deconstructing the battlefield 1 ship at a time.
Yeah, so was on that rock. Didn't take damage, but won't be shooting this round. Blocked right there. And we'll find out if it fits here. Yeah, I think he does clear it.
Yeah.
Tough for Terry here on the blue. Doesn't take any damage, but again, key, not being able to fire, right?
Yeah, and
You're way more concerned about that.
every single shot you don't take is a step back in a
Yeah.
swarm on swarm matchup.
If you win on my stream,
All right, and then looks like blue is the one that had Sam's pink lock on it from the bomber here. So that's going to be a range 1 shot with a lock and a calculate potentially.
Yeah. Yeah. So going with the green, I think. Range 1 obstructed. Nothing. Oh, no mods there. Seer, range 2. Tenzakage gets 3. It's 1. Seer takes 1 from Terry.
2.
Sorry,
Takes
2, yeah.
Yeah.
I clicked the 2 instead the 1.
Uh, Looks like it's going to be. Next up is Terry's pink vulture. Deciding what option to take here. Looking to nab as many points as he can at this point.
Taking the range 1 on purple. Purple does have 1 damage on it. Again, K-turn here, no calculate, no friends with calculate. Either
Right,
too.
yeah. So range 1 into purple. Just
3 into
needs
2.
1 to get points.
Yeah.
2 to get double points. So there's the 2.
Oh,
2 evades.
So now blue taking that energy shell charge with an obstruction.
Yep.
Hit,
Spending
crit.
for hit crit.
So 3 here because of the obstruction.
And takes a hit
1.
crit on to green.
So at a minimum 2 here. We'll see if he pulls any sort of direct.
That is not direct hit.
Looks like a blinded pilot to me, but it's already shot, so not too consequential. And which shot is this?
I missed which one it is. Looks like it's going to be.
Missed anyway. Looks
yeah.
like had no mods. Just wanted to leave it.
It looks like maybe that was the bomber. Decided to leave it.
Yep.
So orange and purple still have yet to fire. Looking at how to eke out as many points of the engagement as possible.
So purple just taking a primary shot into Seer. Seer 1 away from half. Takes the 1, and that is half. And now orange here. Range 1 onto the I3. Yeah.
Spins a friend's calculate, phones in a friend,
Nope.
and
We're
gets
good
blocked.
to go. And that's game.
And that's
yeah.
game. 50 points for Terry, 106 points for Sam. This was something like 4 rounds of actual fire.
Yeah, 4 rounds of actual fire. And again, I think it all comes down to one thing. Sam baited the engage in. Terry took the engage in Sam's territory. And Sam, with those struts, having the advantage.
Yeah.
Being able to pull out more energy shells more consistently, right? I think this could have gone a couple different ways.
Yeah.
If, for instance, Terry barely clipped that debris with blue, gets the energy shell charge there, might be able to initiative kill, right?
Yep.
But being down that really hurt. Yeah, and so that's going to conclude this game, round 5. We'll be right back with round 6 from Gold Squadron Podcast's coverage of the X-Wing World Championship Day 1B. Thank you so much for watching.